everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I am your go-to Road to Kingdom dance analyst, and we are finally here. We are starting Road to Kingdom Ace of Ace with the Ace battles as well as the intro stages. So this is going to be split up into two parts for YouTube, but it's all going to be done in one go on Patreon, and you don't have to wait if you are on Patreon. So I am just so excited to just be able to start in real time. I'm just through the moon on it, and I do intend on looking at the episode as well same day, but it'll get released later on YouTube, hopefully, if the copyright doesn't kill me. So I think without further ado, I think it's time to get started. One next for Freaking Up. One light becomes one time. So I expect maybe flowers. I actually have no idea. I have no idea what song they're gonna do because they're a hybrid crew. Hybrid group. Auspicious. Look at that. There's your little timepiece. Ooh. Time. Woo! Nice. 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 That was nice. Like, that was clean. Like, he's knowing how to do that. That was cool. Woo, okay. At our timepiece again. Is it another timepiece? They're the two leaders of the respective groups. It would be my natural assumption there. The flowers was really cool. I'm glad they added it in because you had the dark bloom in the A stage, and if you have an overlap, that kind of stuff was cool. That was dope. Like, that had a defined finish. That was really nice. I was curious as to why we had sand, black sand. That's totally fine. I feel like we're going to get more clarity on a lot of that when we watch the episode. But it is something to still note, though. If I do have questions and I need to have context by them explaining it to me, then that's in a general note to have. Or if the point was to leave your audience in suspense or with a sense of curiosity or wanting to learn more with more questions than answers, then they did their job. That's fine. Just something to think about. So Auspicious is, I'm assuming that's the crew that is working with them on the season. That is one of the crews I think I had thought about because of their affiliation with ATBO. JUSTB has worked with a lot of different crews, so I really wasn't sure about them, but that doesn't surprise me, and it really feels like they said, we're pulling out all the stops on this. Your intro stage is about to be bonkers, and they said yes. It was cool. Really cool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about, it's not really an elephant in the room, but it is something that is going to be mentioned, especially if you're an ATNE. You know the importance of a timepiece for ATEEZ's lore. I'm very familiar with it, and the fact that we had a lot of lore progression and a lot of lore tone setting and foundation setting in the Kingdom Legendary War franchise with the timepiece. I understand that some people may be like, they're copying ATEEZ. I'm going to say right now, I really feel I would really just have to know what the importance of the timepiece is in order for me to really tell you if that's the case or not. I'm wondering if we factor that in, if we were aware, whoever was making the choice on that, was it their choice to do it? Also keep in mind, I have a feeling that the reason why they chose to do that is because there's two different sides, and then the goal is to have the sand kind of combined together. It's kind of what it feels like. I don't know if we're doing time travel, but then also they show time, a clock on the screen as well. So they have it, they're opening it up. So I just want to be someone, I do recognize ATEEZ, I recognize that because I've already marathon ATEEZ, I'm aware of this. But I want us to be okay with the fact that we're exploring this. This feels very dark, and it feels like a different realm or dimension with the usage of a timepiece in comparison to ATEEZ's lore. But we're going to respect the fact that that exists, and we can counter that as a huge inspiration and treat it as a compliment, okay? Because I also know, too, there have been cases where ATEEZ have been plagiarized. in other ways, and so there's a lot of sensitivity around it. So I'm talking about it right now, okay? As somebody who's aware, we're going to look at this as inspired at best, not plagiarism, okay? Because I'm not seeing it as that. This is not the same as when I was looking at the Boys Danger set and I saw two completely reused, not even fixed or adjusted tricks that really captivated the audience that came from two different crews from two different franchises in America. So does that kind of make sense? So I want you to know I recognize it. And those of you who are fans of either group, it's okay that ATEEs may feel that way. Does that make sense? I feel like, oh, I'm putting out fires right now. It's okay that this happens. We don't want to start a war because of this. And who knows if this was really their call? Even if Mnet structures it that way, who was the call to make this concept? We don't know. And we're going to be okay with celebrating the art of what this is, okay? Okay, here we go. So they go down. I love the speed change on that. Really cool. He throws it. So the use of the sand was a cool element. I am curious what it is, what it entails. Maybe it's the sand from the timepiece. That could be a cool thing. Maybe it's that. Maybe I just answered my own question. Look at that. The power of critical thinking. So we have this moment, which is cool. Now, are these dark? Do they have something in their hand? I'm not quite sure. We're too far away. They throw, so it makes me want to focus on their hands. So maybe there is something there. So they go high, boom. I like the porter, like the little porter moment. It's nice. You see the carriage of the arms. They go and they throw. So I'm assuming it is, you know, it's a withered flower and then we're going to turn it into something in bloom. So for me, I feel like the blooming effect going from something dark to light reminds me of the boys' their flower, you know, branch that turns into a full tree. Una Fantasia, that one. You know, so I feel like it feels like that too. It's like so hybrid. So they goes boom, boom. So I like how we go high, low, and we go down, up, doon, 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 doon. So that was really nice coming up, boom, boom. And I like how we present it up. Super fun. And we go with transition and they go hit, da, da, da. So I like how we create our arms really nice and strong and around. And it matches similarly to our hand and a minute hand that you would see on a clock, like that. And they switch, boom. And I like how we end up going and creating a fun ripple out of that because we saw it go from an add-on from back to front, and then we have a travel front to back. Good usage of dynamics. He goes, he throws it, da 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 da. I like the throw on that. Which is cool. They hit, boom, boom. Good stability on that. Somebody can totally become unstable on that. Everyone was stable. Boom. Clear picture. Boom. Clear picture. Let's go. And they hold it down. I love that where they're taking their body and they're pushing it forward to rotate. I love that choice with the brush of the hand. Come on now. And they go punch. Boom. I like the accent with the arm, the elbow, and they go swing down onto the knee, which is nice. They go that boom, 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 which is also fun. They drop. I like the little high jumps from our four, and they go down. So they go up, and then they travel and do boom with the accent, hitting punch, punch. So I like how they're catering to the camera over on here. So they're setting up over in the back. It's fine. They branch away. So he goes, he resets. He does a Valdez going into a B twist is what I think it is, but definitely gives a heavy martial arts influence. I bet you that's probably this sequence, what that is. So if you can tell me what that vocabulary in reference to like Taekwondo, Judo, whatever martial arts scene, sorry, not martial arts, I think is tailored more towards Chinese, right? So I'm so sorry. So whichever it is, maybe Judo, because it's Korea, let me know. I would love to know the actual vocabulary for that, because in breaking, you would see a Valdez set up into a B twist, but then how he finishes gives a more, that kind of effect. So anyway, so they go, oh, so that was cool. Really nice. It was very clean too. So that was nice. So they go, they branch it around, which is nice, picking up the foot. So then you have one of my guys right there. He goes a nice little finger on that. Now, because he's in the back, it is a little bit hard to see. And if you're somebody that's like hanging out all the way over there, you're not going to see this, you know? So you have to factor that in. If they're doing self-evaluation and they may not vote this one like really high because they don't see moments like this like we can. We have the best seat in the house. We have to remember that, okay? So I love that choice with the head ISO. The head ISO, filthy. That disgusting. So good. I love that. I love me a good head ISO. And then from there, he freaking decks it to the floor. That, great commitment. They drop down, they go dur dur dur, and they bring it up, and then they go and reset down. The slide through was really fun. The subtlety is cool, so they're going and moving through. So they grab, nice little twinkling of the fingers, and they branch it over, and they turn, which is also nice, and they go up with the throw. Now, you're noticing, I don't know if you're noticing, but in the camera shots, we're getting these really cool partner work mini groups, but then what you're seeing are people transitioning away, and we have to remember, yes, camera matters, but also I feel if it is a self-evaluation, you got everybody sitting there in person watching, I know they're probably like really considerate of the fact that, hey, we get it, it's like for camera. Like I feel like they get it. But also for me, if I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm adjudicating this in some way, shape, or form with whatever I decide to come up with for my criteria, I wouldn't want the camera to be the only thing that matters in the choreo, you know, like running around. Like I would want at least what they're doing to still have a sense of movement or intention, even if it's not on camera. I think that's something that really speaks to me personally, but it's because I'm used to competitions, like most competitions that I'm affiliated with. Every time somebody steps on stage, you have to have intention and purpose behind it, regardless if there's a camera there or not, because you're gonna get judged on all of it, not just whoever you want your feature to be. So just take that as that's my personal, like, lived choreography, structured experience on the competition side of things. I'm used to that, and that's my expectation I put on my own work and I put on others' work. So keep that in mind. I think that may not be as big of an influence like I'm making it out to be. We got to keep that. That's totally fine. Anyway, they go a little boom boom. I love that. And honestly, the usage of the dubstep, they're holding it down very well. Honestly, the textile too, that material works great for this type of the type of feel of the sound that we're hearing, boom boom, but also the lighting really works. It says one light becomes one time. So light, timepiece more tells time, right? But it's like more of like an older form of that, and then becomes one's time. Time is like the clock too. So yeah, anyway, I guess the light going from dark to light, dark flower to a bright flower, maybe that. So they go down, boom, doom, 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 which is cool. And they go boom with the throw. I like that. That's nice. And they go back in, a little stomp, stomp, stomp is nice. And they go, oh, I like the little orchestra. It's fun. They throw, so that ties into the A stage as well. So that's nice. And then that right there is just a I've heard it in house. It's called a borracho, but I don't think they're doing a house pocket, so we're not going to call it that. Or just a groove of that. So I would say it's just ball changes, ball change sequence to help with your fullness and transition. And they go high, over, boom, boom. And I like on the second one, it causes the transition to happen. And they throw, and it goes do 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 do. A little hit, which is nice. They take it, we throw it, and we go and we rotate, we go in. And then we go and we have an explosion. Now, does that feel familiar? The crew, what is it? The THENEWSIX also did it, but they ended up doing it a couple times. Very full, very forceful. If anything, the THENEWSIX did a good job on catering to the masses, to everybody around and to camera. And I think that's kind of like the format that I would personally prefer if I was in the room. But remember, I'm not a competitor. I'm not a judge. I'm just a commentator with just, you know, with experience or history, you know, watching, reviewing, and analyzing the show in this franchise. But they go and expand around. So I love this. They have their moment. He has the timepiece. Now it's white. I'm noticing that, so go speed change, and we're all moving and progressing, boom, boom, good flow, nice breath, and then we go. Oh, bless it. Is that a basket run I see? It is. So if you do not know me, my professional training that I received came from Hip Hop International. So I am very familiar with mega crews and the structure of like really, really structured elite level adjudication criteria thing. So that's why I come across the way that I do sometimes. And I also am aware of my own perspective and background that may not be as applicable to some of these things that I'm touching on. So I understand that, and I'm very much open to learning and growing alongside fans. But whenever I look at a basket run, in my humble opinion, it's probably it's not even a pet peeve. It's one of those things I will always say is a missed opportunity and will suck you out of a concept quicker than anything else, because it is so done by everybody. That to me feels like we are choosing to be clean to get to our next spot, not I'm creating a beautiful dynamic or I'm using this moment in this transition to continue and further my story. You've just cut the story off for me in this moment and now you have to reintroduce it to me. That's my personal note, but it comes from my background and my overexposure to this transition in mega crews and any time I see it on shows like this. So I want you to know that going in. If you are like, Jess, it's not that deep, it's really not, but it is something that I do have to give a disclaimer on. I'm always gonna call it out if I ever notice it. And that's what you're seeing here. And they reset. So I like the cleanliness of that. So it goes boom, boom, they've dropped down. So they're getting something out of their pocket, but it's very intentional though. So it doesn't look like, oh, they're getting something out. Like they all went down and looked at the same direction, so it feels like a choreography choice. Now he has one. Now what color is it? Is it white? So they have it. So it's the two crews and they're moving it and they're mixing the sand, or they have the sand and they're starting a new time is kind of what it feels like, right? So they created a nice little bloom flower and they go boom. I love that moment there that they have. So honestly, getting the timepiece from one leader to the other is really dope. If I'm being real, that's cool. So we have a nice moment. We're going, little speed changes. We're here for it. Come on now. And then bleeds and breaths, and they go down, very accented. And then we have a nice little finish. And then one of them's drop low, one is high, boom, and the time is flowing. Cool, we're here for it. We like it. Very intrigued on how this one looks, because there's so many of them. So I'm assuming the sand is in fact from this hourglass. I'm honestly impressed that there are two different groups that are in the same group right now, because you can't tell. love hearing the breath in the mic. I think that's fun. Okay, 8 turn. This one I'm intrigued on. Oh my God. Shame on me. Let's go back. Okay. In brief, definitely it met the expectations based on how the cameras were shot. Like, they didn't do anything to cover up anything, but some of the transitions you can tell, like, they're moving over and they're being still. I appreciate the professionalism on, like, being in their spot and not moving or doing anything that's taking away from the focal points of the feature. So that's something we can appreciate. You know, it's just, I will stand by my own notes that I have set though. Okay, thank you guys for watching this with me. Some of you guys have made it all the way through from the tip top of the ACE analysis all the way through here. If you're on Patreon, more power to you. I'm shocked myself I made it through. But this makes me so excited. I hope you're excited to watch the episode with me. My goal is episode 1 will be released to the public, but all future episodes are going to be exclusive to paid members on Patreon. But I will have a group chat on Patreon. You do not have to be a paid member. It can be a free member to join and be a part of the discussions. I'd love to meet you there. Rep your fandom. I also want to hear more context. What's going on in the neck of the woods of all the fandoms? Is there any beef that's going on? Anything that's starting to stir that I can help kind of alleviate or put fires out on? I hope I was able to kind of cover some things here. But remember, I am team everyone except Mnet for this. I want everybody to grow. I want everybody to experience celebrations. I want everybody to experience, you know, growth and safe hardships. Yeah, like the challenges, I don't want to be left with PTSD like what we've had from other kingdoms. I want to be able to put my best foot forward and help be an advocate for groups. And I hope I was able to be clear or constructive, but still show that I really do care about these groups and that they are people. And at the end of the day, who freaking cares about the rankings? Did they feel good about what they did? And I want them to be able to celebrate that. So I'm excited for the discussions on all of this. You guys know me, I know you. I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.